Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating in my studio. Every day I share a video with you on YouTube in which I paint and create all sorts of nature-inspired pictures. I also share loads of tips on how to make the most of your painting journey, interrupted fairly frequently by our family of dogs, cats, chickens and sheep. So welcome on board, click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to paint some roses in a different way from the way we've done before, and this is a wet in wet way, which I think you'll find super easy and really lovely. And so this is my sketch. But first of all I want to introduce you to the colours I'm going to be using, because today we're going to use a different palette from the one that we've been using up until now. And when I say palette, I mean a selection of colours rather than the actual palette. And we are indeed going to be using a different palette. I'm going to be using this ceramic one that I've got here, which I know is widely available online. And if you don't like my little dishes, or if you want to stick with a more compact and portable system, this is one way you can go. So anyway, I have got here 6 colours, and again they're still in the triad of yellow, red and blue. So I've got a pure blue, which is, a pure green, which is Viridian, which is a good old-fashioned pure green that makes wonderful mixes. I've then got transparent yellow there, which is a nice pure clean yellow. Then I've got cerulean blue, not cobalt but cerulean, which is a slightly greener, a cool blue, not a warm one like ultramarine. And then we've got our warm red, which is Scarlet Lake. Again, it's a colour that I haven't used with you before, but that's another old-fashioned colour. Viridian and Scarlet Lake and cerulean are famous colours that have been used by watercolourists for very, very many years. And then I've got permanent rose, which is quinacridone rose nowadays. It used to be different, but quinacridone rose now, which is a nice synthetic colour that gives a very permanent pink, which is great because pinks tend to be a bit fugitive. And then so mixing these colours together in various ways, we can come up with all these lovely pastel shades. Just by mixing a little bit of cerulean with the permanent rose, we get this lovely violet, and then we can make all these greens from Viridian, and this is a combination of permanent rose and transparent yellow, so that gives us a peachy colour like that. So I started off doing that, decided on these colours, and then I've done a very quick sketch there, very rough, just indicating perhaps the idea of a mixed bouquet of roses, which I think is quite pretty. And then I did another slightly more worked up one there. Now this is one of those paintings, one of these techniques that you have to trust in time, because when you first do it, it won't look very pleasant, but if you let it dry, it will come into shape. And then if you want to, once you've got some shape and it is dry, then you can always come in again and start working up the petals a little bit more. But you don't have to, because that's quite a nice loose effect, I think. So anyway, what I was thinking of was that this would be a nice idea for a birthday card or something like that. A summer birthday, summer roses and all the rest of it. So I'm going to just put my washi tape around this piece of stretched watercolor paper, because although it's stretched, it's the thing with stretching it is that keeps it nice and flat and makes it easier to paint on. And I do that often. I don't always do it, but if I'm using thin paper, 90 pounds or something like that, that's going to definitely buckle, then I will stretch it. If I'm using thicker paper, then I often do, but not always. In fact, the Etcher sketchbook paper is obviously not stretched because it's in a book, and because it's a remarkably good paper, you don't need to do that. So That's fine. I just use washi tape around the edge to give me a clean edge. So if we're going to use this as a card, then first of all I'm going to turn it the other way around, like that. And then I'm going to sort of paint in the center. And then what I would do is I would take the painting and probably glue it onto another card, like this one here. This is a watercolor card that I've been playing around with. It comes ready folded, and you can either paint on it, but I wanted to do that to show you. This is very rough paper, and so when you paint on it you get an awful lot of texture. Can you see that? And yeah, it's okay, but you might not want it like that. So you can control things a lot better if you do it on a separate piece and then just glue it onto your card. Or in fact, you could use thick paper and just fold it in half, of course. So we're going to do this as a sort of relaxed kind of thing because, you know, it's so hot and anyway, so I'm just going to indicate roughly where I'm going to put the roses, and then I'm going to just drop the paint in and see what happens. So we'll just paint, draw in. So I was looking at this and thinking, simplified, you've just got these kind of little points in a way, and where the petals turn over, so, and then some kind of thing down the bottom, I don't know. Roses, roses, a rose by any other name. Just jiggedy jaggedy. Roses are popular, aren't they, to paint? Everybody wants to paint roses all the time. And there are many different ways of doing this. I don't like the idea of going for perfection, not for perfection, for, you know, accuracy or anything like that. I'm more inclined towards impressionistic. And we'll indicate a few leaves as well. And they have these things underneath. I'm painting in the afternoon today. Usually I do my paintings in the morning. In the afternoon, what I actually want to do is go to sleep right now. And after I've had my lunch, being as I'm so old these days, what you want to do in the afternoon is not be awake. Isn't it? So we'll just put the stems like that a little bit. Maybe we'll put another leaf there. Going to leave a space there, I think, and maybe we might put a bud here or something. Right. Excuse me if I keep having a bit of a cough. I haven't got COVID, I just have a dry throat. Okay, now let's see. This is going to be a bit of an exploration for me as well as for you. I haven't painted with this particular palette for a while. So I'm minus my quinacridone gold. I don't have that with me. So let's see what happens. What I do have is my brushes. I've got number 7 round pointed brush. And so we'll pick up some, and the way I'm going to do this, I will do the mixing here. Okay, so I'm going to pick up some permanent rose and a little bit of transparent yellow, preferably minus the green. More pink than yellow. And let's start with this one, shall we? Why not? So I'm just going to follow my outlines. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of the same kind of colour, thicker, and just drop in some more paint, like that. And then maybe a bit more yellow. And maybe we'll put some of the scarlet in as well. We'll see what happens. And then maybe we'll do a bud here with that pink, and then we might add a little bit of yellow on the side. Over here we might start with the yellow and add the other pink to it. And then maybe we'll start with this one, we'll make it a yellow. And then we'll drop in the apricot-y colour. And then pink. I feel that needs to go up a bit further at the back there. And what you can do, I find this works quite well with the roses sometimes, is just lift out a little bit in the centre with the tissue. And then that seems to make it bleed a little bit better. Now we could start with some of the green bits. So that's transparent gold and cerulean, with a little bit of red. And then we can darken down the bottom by adding more of permanent rose. Then we can use the same green down here for these. You can use Viridian too if you want. As long as you stick with just these 6 colours, your shading and everything should be fine. You should find that everything goes well together. So we can come in up here. The worst thing you can do is have a palette in which you've got 365 colours and you don't know what to do with any of them. I'm going to mix a little bit of Scarlet Lake with the transparent yellow, and it makes a beautiful orange. And then we might drop in some pink permanent rose and let that blend. Then we go back to our Viridian and mix that with some some of the orange. A little bit of red to make it a little bit brownish. And here. little bit more red to make it a little bit dark. Maybe some cerulean blue. If by chance you feel you've gone too dark, just lift it out. When these are starting to dry, just go back with your pink of choice and then just do some some ideas like that. You can also lift out a bit of colour if you want. Maybe we'll do this one up here in mostly yellow. With a little bit of Scarlet Lake. We just lift out a little bit in the centre there as well, and here. And then we just basically need to let that dry and then come in with some refinements. Okay, so this is dry, and so now I'm going to just do a little bit of detail in the center of this one, where we're using a modified C stroke for that, and we'll just make that a bit more fuzzy as it goes towards the back. We'll let that do its thing. Maybe we'll just put a little bit of darker color at the bottom here, and maybe 1 or 2 strokes like that. We'll just see what that looks like when that's done. And oh, hello Rose. This one up here, I found this rose in the garden just now, and that reminds me of that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to just put a little bit of orange in the middle, so that's transparent yellow and scarlet lake. So just put that in the middle there. And that's pretty much all we need to do there. We might want to put a tiny bit more yellow on the edge of the petals. But not much, we leave that to dry. This one's turned out okay. This one needs the modified C stroke in the middle, and probably, again, a little bit of the orangey thing here going on, which is a great way of showing the center of the rose. And then something like that. Roses are really hard. I'm amazed everybody wants to paint them because they are so gosh darn hard, I think. Difficult to do. Sooner paint pebbles any day. You don't have to bother to make them look like anything specific. Oops. Oops, that's not my piece of tissue. There we go. And we will let that dry now. We've got some nice buds down here going on. Just a tiny hint of pink down the bottom there. That's rather sweet. And I think we need to do some more leaves. So, excuse me if I sit down. And yes, the leaves on the rose have a slightly serrated outside edge, don't they? So you have your take your pointed brush and just do that kind of thing. Maybe only on one side. And then perhaps we'll put another bright one down here. A tiny bit more blue. Let that bleed. Maybe we'll put another one here, just a small one. I'm feeling the need to put another one here. And I'll tell you what I've forgotten so far is the what do you call them? The thorns. So we just want to drop in a few pointy bits in a few places. I didn't remember that stem coming down here. And then chances are I probably feel as if you need some quite dark darks, relatively speaking, underneath the roses. So there we've got a nice mauve there. I'm going to put some of that in. Just a little bit, without too much. It doesn't want to all be joined up, just a little bit. And then now we need to let that dry. So there's the final painting, just a quick sketch of some roses on a hot summer's afternoon, and I hope you enjoyed that. Give it a try if you feel like painting some roses, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that. And give me a like also, please, if you wouldn't mind, and subscribe if you haven't already. And do visit our website, dianeantone.com, where you can download for free all of the sketches of all of the paintings that I've done over the last few months for you. There's about 200 videos on here for you to watch, so you should never get bored ever again. And they're all free to download. We have a tip jar, but it's not obligatory. And so yeah, that's what I have to offer you today, a quick one, and I'll see you again tomorrow. So thanks very much for being here, and have a lovely evening, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now, everyone. Bye bye.